As famed dungeon master Olivia Newton-John once said, when planning a campaign with her players, we'll play together. The Lost Mines of Phandelver, maybe Storm King's Thunder, Horde of the Dragon Cream, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, Zenithar's Guide to Everything, Mordekainen's Tomb of Foes, Forgotten Realms. Yeah! Hey! And welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of self-isolation using our two favorite forms of escapism, alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons. There are a couple of announcements before we start the show proper. We are down a Wes, but we're up an Ash. Ash, how are you keeping? How's everything in America?
That's loaded. Do you want a real answer? Because I don't know if you want.
I have a terrible habit of doing these intros and then ignoring what the person's saying. Like when you ask someone, you're like, "Hi, I'm Ben," and then you don't listen to their name. So this time I was like, "No, I would like to see how you're getting on," and not rush into the other announcements we have. I'm terrible.
I like to joke that everybody here is like on a sliding scale. At the top is shitty and the base is homeless. So I'm shitty, but I'm not homeless. So that's cool. But yeah,
that's where we're at with COVID. Like that's the yeah.
Well, we've also got the whole fascism thing going on. So
right.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a super bummer.
Hey, at least there's a little bit of escapism here, and hopefully there's no fascism in this game. I don't know, I don't plan ahead. I just yes and whatever weird things are in your brain. So, as you know, if you've been watching the show and you've been following along with the campaign, we have set up a coffee account. And all funds and proceeds go towards organizations doing what we consider like a real hero's work, not these rolling dice fake heroes work. And for the foreseeable future, our coffee funds will be going to Maasai, the movement of asylum seekers in Ireland. They are there to provide a voice to the voiceless. They're striving to end direct provision in Ireland and offer those basic human rights and make sure that they are extended to the rights of asylum seekers here in Ireland. And it seems like we're making real ground. I say we, I have done nothing. It seems like they're making some real ground, and sometime in the lifetime of our next government, it will be ended. But until then, people are still living in pretty horrific conditions and they need all the support they can get. So we're more than happy to just, if you're enjoying the show and you want to buy us a coffee, we'd love you to do that. And we're just going to kind of bundle it all together in lump sums and send it on to Maasai. There are some other show announcements. Of course, we are proudly partnered with Dakota Irish, purveyors of finely handcrafted dice trays, towers, and vaults, and amazing dice sets. And if you go on to dakotairish.com, you can use the promo code Homebrew10. That's the number 10, not the word 10, when you're checking out not checking out, but I mean like checking out, as in paying for things, not just checking out as in like using your fingers to look at stuff. When you're checking out, you'll get 10% off your purchase. And we have another big show announcement. You asked, we listened, so you can listen. Lucy, I think you've been working on something in the background. Do you want to tell everyone what we're doing?
We finally are actually a podcast after for ages kind of referring to it as a podcast and other people saying like, oh, how's your podcast going? It actually now is one. So yeah, now if you go to any good podcast store and or tell me the ones that it's not on, but yeah, basically mainly Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff, and just look for Homebrew Quest. And the first 3 episodes are up there now, and then we're going to be releasing them every alternate Tuesday. So next Tuesday will be episode 4, and so on and so forth. So yeah,
it's a really fantastic way if you've been an incredible fan, and every time you go like, oh, tell a friend, you're like, yes, we will, but it's really annoying to be like, watch the show where you have to sort of be somewhat visual. So the podcast is also there for you to go, hey, you could really easily catch up.
Yeah.
The only thing I can apologize for is that when I listen to North American podcasts, I listen on double speed because it's just easier to catch up. But we speak like Irish people, which is like already double speed. So we'll just try keep it tight. So maybe you can join the adventure. Anything else, Lucy, like people should know when they're looking for us?
Homebrew Quest, that's all. If you do homebrew, there's loads of stuff there. Homebrew Quest, that's where it's at. And if you do, like, feel free. I actually haven't figured it yet. As far I think, like, follow it on Spotify or do any of those things. Reviews. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet.
And if you don't know what to write, just like see if there's another review, copy and paste it. The robots don't know. Robots don't know. That's how you
That
fool
also
them.
sounds like exactly what robots would look for. So don't do that. Change the words. Thesaurus. Take another review. Thesaurus everything. Boom.
And don't copy a bad review. You know.
Oh yes, yeah.
Good God,
You
no.
would create this terrible effect. Like, oh God, it's snowballing. Yeah.
Okay, before we jump into the game, we'll do a quick roundtable on what are we drinking. This is Homebrew, so we bring some brews to the table and we use it to inspire the show. I'll kick it off. I've gone a little hog wild this week. I don't have a selection of beers. I just have a keg of beer. So
Looks like you've gone hag wild.
Oh,
I have gone hag wild. Yes, this is from the White Hag. This is a little fun. One of my favorite beers in general. And when I bought tickets to Box Stravaganza, they usually do Hag Stravaganza every year, but because of COVID, it has to be cancelled. So they're doing a beer festival in a box, and I got a tidy little 15% off when I did that, and I used that 15% to get two of these kegs. It's going well. I'd recommend chilling them. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. First couple of pints, I was like, it's a bit room temperature. What can I do about that? And fridges exist, so I put it in a fridge.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Doesn't that type of keg have its own name? Is it like a pony keg or something like that? Or is that even smaller than a pony keg? I never know. I don't drink beer, so I don't know.
That's the kind of American keg knowledge that we need.
Yeah.
Kegs are.
Kegs are kegs here. This one's, I think, a mini keg, but we don't even do stuff like tall boys. Like, we don't call big cans tall boys and small cans stubbies. They're just cans.
We name everything. Everything has a name.
I think the only
That's the
thing.
kind of keg that like a child would do a keg stand on, I assume. Like a little baby toddler.
Yeah.
How cute would that be?
Maybe for their...
I don't know what keg
Name,
stands even really are.
baptism.
I just
What? How do you not know what a keg stand is?
It's not.
we don't have that. I just
Can't do it. Yeah.
We just drink beer out of bottles and cans.
Yeah, you do a handstand, usually on the keg itself, and then just drink the beer out of the keg.
It seems crazy. And you do that with toddlers. We're mad.
Which comedian is it that has the joke, Irish people don't need drinking games? We've got one drinking game. It's called drinking, and we're fucking deadly at it.
That's familiar, though.
It's amazing.
It sounds. I can hear it in Jarlath Regan's voice, so I don't want to give him credit to that joke, but I can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
Right, going around the room, the virtual room. I think next up on our little overlay is Ash. Admittedly, it's noon, so where you are. So
it's high noon. Well, it's 10 after, but yeah. So I've brought all of the liquids. I've got my 30 ounces of water, which I have 3 of every day. I've got my Red Bull because I just need it. This is my special drink. It's from Thistle. It's a juice, and it's called Autumn. Is the name of the beverage, and it's got carrot, orange, and camu camu.
Is camu.
Camu camu is I don't know if y'all have like crab apples. I grew up with crab apples, but camu camu is very similar to that. It's about the size of a cherry, but they're like hard like little apples. They're not crab apples, but they're similar. But they're little sour fruits, and they're very high in vitamin C. So this is a very vitamin C rich bevy, but it does actually taste very harvesty. I don't know how they like injected harvest into. Oh, it's also got ginger and black pepper. the famous fall flavors.
Gav, what are you supping on?
I'm going to be no help on the name front because I'm on the Galway Bay again. Yeah, they're in my local off license and they're always delicious. So I got some Full Sail, I got some Weights and Measures, I got some Althea, I got the whole set.
I don't think we've used Althea yet, and it's come up a few times. It's a great name, but we've never, as far as I know, chat might correct us if there's someone so dedicated to this that they're tracking our beers. It should be me. It's not.
You must do, right? You must have
No, we'd remember her. She sounds
real
cool. Yeah.
dedicated fans.
Yeah, we got some great bands. Yeah. Lucy, you're down in the kingdom in Ireland. You're moving around. This is the best thing about virtual streaming, is that we can be in the four corners, the four provinces.
And I mean, I'd like to say that that's the reason that my internet might be bad is because I'm literally in a beautiful misty valley in the Kerry Mountains, but my internet's shit in Dublin as well. So like, that's not, but yeah, I have a lovely Killarney beer here with a good name that I think could be a good character. But if that comes up, if the right character comes up, so I have one of those.
There's a bounty up on the local board for Arnie. You have to kill him. So that's I know that already. It's in Korea. Kill Arnie is one of the bounties on the board. So yeah.
Nice. There's so many places in Ireland you can make that joke. It's great. But yeah, then the water to accompany it is just some hop ice. But yeah.
Fair. And finally, Keelan.
I am drinking a Dungarvan Mahon Falls Rye Pale Ale, or Mahone. I've just decided because Mahon's fun, but Mahone could be more fun. To pronounce it wrong. So there's that. It's lovely. It's fine. It was in the house. Is its main feature.
That's mine, I think. I left it here because I've had it before and I wasn't a fan. So I did that very friendly thing of being like, I don't want this beer. It's real good.
I was like, I don't remember buying it, but it's nice enough. It's pretty standard, And then I have a Vagabond, a Brewdog Vagabond, which I haven't tried, but it's an American pale ale. So there you go. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. But yeah.
U.S. ale. U.S. ale. I think that's our usual housekeeping out of the way. One final thing, obviously, huge thank you to our tech team, our technomancers, Paul and Angus. They're the ones who keep the stream running. They are usually either side of me, and maybe someday in the future they will be again as we return to Keelan's house. But for a while, I think we're going to be doing it remotely. So amazing thanks to them. They make sure we've just complicated the show by being like, add in all these internet connections and make us pretty. So thank you very much. If they're drinking anything, I'm sure they will let you know in chat. Though I think they're good. They're good boys. They're good boys, and parents love them. That's on the back of their tech section. We're good boys, and parents love us. I think that's it. Now, without further ado, grab yourself a drink, pull up a chair, as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. And imagine, if you will, the shrill cries of a newborn baby, eyes squinting up at this new world ahead of them. Their mother is drenched in sweat, brows furrowed. Their father has that expression men have when they suddenly realize the sheer power and strength innate in all women. Sort of proud, astonished, a little scared. You can just tell, like, oh, wow, I've just witnessed something incredible. And as he steps out of the way of the cleric handing the child over to its doting mother, even now in this flickering candlelight under the secrecy of night, the resemblance is uncanny. She has her mother's eyes. Lightning cracks down, and there's a flare of arcane energy around the baby. Those who know the truth of her parentage would say that this child is touched. Not too many of her kind these days, born of both the material plane and the other world. And as such, just like her parents' tryst, she must remain hidden. Society would never accept the joining of these two lovers, just as it never accepted the joining of the two worlds they come from. But I think you'll agree that the fates might have a different view on keeping something this world-breaking a secret. Sooner or later, a good story always finds a way to get told. But that was then. And this is now, where we find our four sexy adventurers standing knee-high to a grasshopper on a birch leaf, cloaks a billowing, having vanquished the shadow corruption of Huck. And Iggy, if you wouldn't mind just catching the audience up on the last 24 hours of your adventurer's life, or maybe the last session, whatever works for you. And we'll crack into the adventure. Anything you think is important from Iggy's perspective?
Yeah, what happened was we finally finished our sea journey and we arrived in Drift. And when we did so, Huck immediately was kind of afflicted by something, and this also caused him to seemingly murder one of our friends. But no, she just popped and disappeared, and he realized he was cursed. And we were told that there was a way to lift the curse at this particular tree in a dead village, or a sleepy village, or something like that, or a tiny village. We went to this village, and that is where we met Ted, the vibrant Pixie, who helped kind of shepherd Huck towards the tree where he was to whisper his secrets. And we ended up getting whisked away inside this tree and shrunk down to the size of a Ted. And we were just chasing along a branch, trying to find this sort of shadow Huck that was ahead, and found him. Turns out he was not very open to communication. So we sort of tried to communicate with him. He in turn, I think, like knocked us all out or something. It wasn't great. And while this was happening, Huck was being flashed back to his past life, and he realized that maybe he was not a kind of little nobody halfling from some town somewhere on the island. And it turns out he was actually possibly royalty, and Prince Puck of the Gloaming Court, with very protective parents that really put a dampener on his ability to hang out with mates, which was quite important to him as a child. And he discovered that he hated that life so much that he actually sacrificed his magic from coming from this royal family in order to live a normal life. And so he didn't remember any of his royalty, but he did have his innate desire to protect his mates and protect his friends, and that's what helped us out on this little leaf, I think. And I forgot that. Anyway, who knows?
That's pretty much yeah. I think any other important details you can watch in episode 24. So I think for now it's pretty much exactly where you are. And Huck, you were sort of floating up in the sky like a transformation scene from whatever favorite Disney movie you want to pick. It's all the same. They use the same animators. They just slap on another face and throw them up in the air. But you were floating there as all of this was revealed to you. And as your feet touch the ground once more, and you find this truth sinking into your consciousness, you glance down, and in your hand, where the golden orb was, is now a small, slightly fuzzy samara fruit of the birch tree. They're the ones that kind of look like little caterpillars, and they kind of hang down in little clusters. So you've got one of those in your hand. And you can notice inside, sort of beneath its leafy surface, the swirling of golden energy. This is clearly that vital ingredient you were asked to fetch by the Temple of Life. And using this, you'll be able to transform yourself back into your true puka form, should you wish. You're still Huck the Halfling. And as you look around and feel the cool evening breeze brush up against the back of your neck, you are no longer on this leaf. In fact, you're standing by that gnarled little knot in the birch tree where you whispered your secret. And looking around, the tree isn't withered. In fact, it looks gloriously lush. But you do see that there are still some stilted mushroom houses, even though some natural growth has started to begin again. You are 100% certain that the events leading up to this moment definitely happened. Like, time has passed. And all of you can remember vividly that chase along the birch branch and your climactic confrontation with the shadowy corruption of Huck. You all even remember being part of Huck's memories as you were kind of drawn in by that psychic energy as they reformed in his mind. But here you are, right back at the very beginning. And in the distance, you hear the rolling of thunder and the skies open up above you. It's late evening. The sky is dark. It's grey with a hint of sort of that deep evening red behind the stormy clouds above. And a shower begins. The Elder Evergreen approaches you. Well, Prince Huck, good to have you back. And Ted, all well?
Aye, well, it's been about 5 minutes, but I think. It's been, I've been through some things. It's been a long 5 minutes. I'll give it that. And you know what? I might just go over there and stand in the rain for a second. And I'm going to walk away and stand in the rain thinking to myself.
Sure. And Ted, how did you get on protecting these, I guess we'd call them adventurers?
Oh, it was the best of times. It was they did great. They actually did really great. Like, I had a great time. It was loads of fun. And Huck remembered all his things, but he's not yet, him yet. But he's gonna be, I think.
He still has the thing.
Yeah.
And just between you and me, and Evergreen leans in. Did the hairy one die?
Oh, I don't know. He bamfed away. He's gone. But I don't think he died. I think Huck isn't quite in control of his magic, but I think he can be. He's got potential.
Oh well, I'm sure the winds of fate will bring him where he needs to be, and I'm sure if the hairy one needed to bamf away, well, he might be. Who knows where he is? But I'm sure he's exactly where he needs to be. I'm positive he is not in any danger.
Did you tell Rua I was helping them?
Well, I haven't.
Is she proud? Did you?
I actually, it's a good idea that we should tell her. I didn't think about it, but yes,
I think she'd be proud of me.
I think that's a good idea. Let's tell Rua that.
Can we hear this?
Yeah, we'll make a perception check. They're kind of hushed and whispering, but they're not
perception.
They're not like pixies aren't incredibly great at. I mean, some pixies are. The pixie I'm playing isn't.
16.
You're not sure if they said Rua or if they said something very close to Rua.
Mm-hmm.
But like it definitely you're aware of this conversation. Suddenly you're like, hold on. I think if you can commune with Rua and tell them, well, she'd be very interested in Prince Huck and where he's been, and well, just yourself, she likes to be kept in the loop about everything that seems to be going around in the glade here, and I haven't heard from her, but she talks to you more than she talks to me.
She leaves me notes on flower petals.
Excuse me, little pixie people. You mentioned the name Rua. Who is that?
She's my patroness. She's the most beautiful of all creatures in the world. Her hair is the color of blood, but in a good way. And her eyes are like a deep purple ocean. And her skin is almost opalescent. It's so beautiful. And her dresses are the envy of the world. Everybody is envious of her beauty.
And she's your patroness, you say. What does that mean? What does she...
Do you not have that word? Am I saying that word wrong, Elder?
No,
it's
patroness. Patroness.
I'm a man of the sea. I've never heard that word before. Is it like first mate? Is it like starboard?
No, I serve her.
Oh, okay.
She's taught me the ways of fey magic, and well, I mean, obviously I knew some ways, but she helped me hone them from when I was very young.
Oh, every generation here, Rua picks one of our pixies to sort of act as the avenger and sentinel, the sentinel, the protector of the glade. And overall, she would be the protector of this glade, but one of us acts on her behalf here, and they're bestowed with incredible powers. Surely you have
incredible powers. Yes, I do. So you better watch out. But so Rua is the protector of the glade, and how does she bestow these powers?
I can't tell you that.
Well, fair enough, I suppose. That was pretty indecent of me to ask. Interesting. And do you know? I mean, you might not know this. This is just kind of pie in the sky. Listen, what does Rua want?
Well,
That seems kind of personal as well.
yeah, I mean, you probably have to ask her what you want. I mean,
Could you?
she wants us to be safe.
Could you introduce us?
I could ask her,
Yeah,
That would be great.
but I can't promise anything.
Oh,
I don't just go around bringing people to her, especially people.
yeah.
Especially people who are, in the club you're in.
Yeah.
I completely understand. The company that we keep doesn't necessarily, wouldn't necessarily appreciate Rua. But I mean, we're friends with Puck. We're friends with Huck. We're friends with your prince. So
You're not friends with Puck. You've never met Puck.
no, we've never.
You're friends with Huck. Puck's his father.
I wouldn't even call them friends. I mean,
The
Huck
friend
kind
of my friend
They hate
is my
each other.
friend, as
Yeah.
Huck would say.
Aye, he's a friend. I'm gonna.
You are Huck's friends. That's true. Hold on. And she waves her hands, and the back of your capes, instead of saying Ted's crew, now say Prince Huck's pals.
Oh.
This is better. It's an improvement.
Aye. Yeah, it's good, all right. I like it.
Oh.
It's good on the billow. Extra glitter. Good.
I don't think his father's going to be happy with this. Like he once told me over a nice thimble of port that the proudest he'd be of his son is if he never made any companions, friends, pals, chums.
You've drank with my pa.
Well, no, I drank with my hand. Bears drink with their paw.
I've missed this. I've missed
Why
this.
would he want his son not to have friends? I don't understand. Actually, he's met him. He's lovely.
I mean, you've met him. He's not. Oh, sorry. I see what you're saying. He's fine. He's not great at parties.
Uh-huh.
Just doesn't know how to rib on people. Like a bit of banter, a bit of. You just, just make fun of them, and then they make fun of you, and like for you, I'd be like, what's up, curls?
That's
You're
very
curls.
funny. That's a good one. That's
Got
a
her.
good one.
You absolutely got her.
I'm just going to wipe away a tear. It's very
Do me
funny.
next. Do me next.
I think
Hey,
Huck perhaps did not want Huck to befriend other people because he felt he would be influenced by them and might, I don't know, join a group that's famously known for slaughtering fairies or something like that.
That could
And
be
yeah, you might have done that if he went off and got friends.
That is a legitimate
Could
concern.
be more wrong then, couldn't he?
I don't know
Well,
that you know the real history of the group you joined.
I mean, punks we've only had a history for about 2 months.
I think she means the Fianna.
Ah, yes. I didn't know how I feel about that now, but sure, they've been doing a lot of good for the human folk, and I haven't seen any bad stuff happening to any Fae myself. So,
Well, if you haven't seen it, then it probably doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
it mustn't
You
have
know.
happened.
Yeah,
'Cause I've never seen it. Yes.
You are legendarily reliable about about knowing what things actually are. That's
I think it's the fact that I've realized I'm Fae, but they're being sarcastic, Rian.
Yes, they are.
It's a subtle Fae undertone that you might not get.
Well, Huck, I've actually been meaning, how do they get you? Is it a luncheon and then the pitch starts, or is it
Do
a
they
promise
give you
that
a-
if you sign up other Fianna below you, you get better? Well, how do they convince so many people to join the Fianna?
Is it a personality test?
Oh,
And then
yeah,
they
you have
tell
to
you you're
hold
very
on.
stressed out and only they can fix it.
I know they just take anyone, so long as you want to join the Fianna. It's very easy. You walk up. That's what I did. I was like, hey, you guys know about the Fae. You see, I had something going on in the back of my head reminding me that I should be looking into the Fae, and really they're the only folk who know anything. Plus, I
Well,
bumped
I mean,
into them when I was
Fae
23.
probably know a bit. I mean, they know half the I mean, we'd probably know a little bit,
But
unless you think.
Huck seemed to say that the Fianna were very noble and were going around doing the good work and helping people. Is that not the case?
I know that's the case. It seems to be, and I'm only gathering this now, a slight matter of perspective. Being you the wee folk or the wee folk or humans.
Please do not refer to us as the wee folk.
Yes.
I was talking about
Only one of us pisses their pants, and we call them pee-pee pants. We are not the wee folk.
I think I know what we are.
So, what can I ask? What is your problem with the Fianna? What's the beef? Where's the beef?
It's mostly that they plan to come into the other world and kill Faye, or at least that's the kind of basic idea of it.
You really didn't mention that part.
It's meant to be the bad Fae, the Fae who mess with the humans a bit too much, steal children, like the hag.
We don't steal children.
We met a hag who...
You should have met old Snake Dog.
We did meet a hag that stole children.
She was a fierce one. She was stealing all sorts of villagers and folk, and that's what the Fianna mostly do, kill them. And admittedly, that was us, actually, but... the Fianna were fine with it.
I mean, surely there are humans and humanoids that also steal children. It's not a Fae thing. Like,
there are, of course,
but
and we have ways of dealing with them.
Yeah.
Oh, what are your ways of dealing with them? Is it to slaughter everybody like them? Is that?
We mostly ask them to stop, I think.
In some places, that might be the way.
I know. There's been an earthquake.
It's those fierce Kerry winds that got you again.
I forgot I'm wearing headphones. I just pulled my laptop off.
Professional streamers.
Bring it to darkness here. Oh, God.
Well, you know the history of the Fae wars.
Absolutely not.
Sad times.
I'm only getting an idea for it now, and really, no, they never really talk about it. Not that much. The Fianna, I've heard a glance, people mention it, that it happened. But it's not really as recent a history for human folk,
Rua was there. She remembers it.
Rua remembers.
Rua, you say? Rian, did you hear this, Rua?
Yeah. How old is Rua? Sorry, that is a very personal question. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop asking.
The Fae don't like giving away very specific information. They love being tangential.
He's kind of talking like he's not one of us. That's
it's a bit weird how he talks about his own species in third person.
I'm translating for my friends, and I only just realized that you weren't lying about me being Prince Huck like 5 minutes ago when I had to fight myself. By the way, lads, turns out that whole Gassa thing, I put the Gassa on myself. Didn't know about it, but I don't know. Were you there? I was in the past for a while. It felt like you guys might have been there.
Oh no! Yeah. I think I mean, it's been obvious to me for a few days now that you put that gas on yourself. It just seems like the kind of thing you do.
Yeah, I think the rest of us were very aware.
Mm.
Well, also, where is Arlington again? I missed it. Maybe I was a bit distracted by trying to get that shadow to speak to me. But at what point did he come back out? Is he around? Does he go back to the pub?
You know the way Quail disappeared when we stood on the island, and and I had gotten a headache at the same time, and it was the Gassa. Well, I got another headache, and then Arlington was gone, and we really, I know why we hang around with them now, other than being friends with them.
We need him to take the ass whooping that we cannot.
Yes, he has some uses. That's what we found out. But one way or another, it's just magic. He disappeared. Who knows? Probably evil stuff. It just coincided with another one of my headaches.
It was so exciting, though, for you all to be so close to death. It was so dramatic.
You were helpful and integral to that as well.
I will be honest. I wasn't doing my best. Mostly I was a bit forgetsy, but mostly I was just having fun watching you guys deal with it.
Well, we couldn't have made it without you anyway. So thank you very much, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
I mean that honestly. You did a great job.
And Blueberry. Love Blueberry.
If I can knight people, I'll knight Blueberry.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And Blueberry pops his head
out.
You have a tiny dragon, and you are halfling size, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Ian, give me one of your daggers there.
I hand a dagger.
Okay. Don't have any spells. Damn, I can't cast reduce. All right. The magic's not working so great, so I'll just be very careful. But I deem you for services rendered and help to Huck's Punks and Ted's crew, as we were. I deem you Sir Blueberry, Knight of the Realm, I guess.
Beautiful.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
Cool. Oh, I hope I don't kill him. That'll be bad.
Please don't cut off his head.
Ooh. Well, on dice, that's an 8. But my sleight of hand's not bad. Surprisingly. It is 6, so 14.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Yay!
Blueberry's
Excellent.
In your mind, you just sort of get a sense of gratitude and pride, and Blueberry's basically being like, "I shall serve you."
Nice. Nice. Well, I mean, we probably would have all died if it weren't for Blueberry himself. So
it's true. I feel like the ceremony of that scene wouldn't pass by this Pixie village in any shape or form. So as it's happening, they all line up and start a sort of honor guard for Blueberry. It's kind of and then Blueberry gets to watch them.
Can I make some sort of fireworks or something sort of around?
Yeah.
And give him his moment.
It's almost as if this is where we'd end the movie. This is where we go and then we just like into the credits. But we've got a whole show in front of us.
Where Blueberry's movie ends. So.
Yeah.
Elder, since they have gifted Blueberry with the knighthood, can I gift them with prizes for serving and returning Prince Huck back to us?
Well, I think that's only fair. And actually, would you like to? You do look a little beat up, if I can say so myself. I mean, surely you'll stay a while, and we can provide some shelter from the rain. And you're more than welcome to rest up here for the evening if you want.
It's just the toadstools look a little small, is all.
Well, you wouldn't be sleeping in yes, they'd need to be at least 3 or 4 times bigger for you. But you won't be sleeping there. And as he talks, a sort of dozen or so fairies start to druid craft quite lovely yurts, just sort of natural yurts for you to say. Well, we could do these. The first couple of attempts are a little small, but again, it's hard to get perspective when you're okay. Take some measurements. There's a little bit of a moment where you're sized up and then yurted. But I think, Ted, I think rewards would be in order.
Now? Can I do it now or later? I'm a patient person.
I don't see why we wouldn't just do it now. I mean, it's we're not waiting for the stroke of midnight and it to be their birthday. Is it anyone's birthday?
Oh, it could be. Is it anyone's birthday?
I don't remember if it is yet.
Oh.
I guess I'll have
gift.
We could pretend. We'll pretend it's all your birthdays.
It's all of our birthdays. We're triplets.
It is my birthday. It's the day.
From the back of the crowd, one of them went, it's actually my birthday. Shut up!
You shut up! You shut up! It's my birthday.
Nobody asked him. I don't know why he always does that.
Yeah, always chimes up. He just doesn't, and its timing is always
no tact.
Who is that guy?
That's Governor.
No,
it's who we call PP Pants.
The wee folk, am I right?
No, it's just
Actually,
one,
hearing
just
it the
one
second
guy.
time, it's kind of a little bit funnier.
But we're not wee folk. That's
No.
my no.
Yeah, we're just regular folk. So, do we need a stage? Do we need wrapping paper? How do we do these gifts?
I don't know.
I tell you, let's tell them to close their eyes.
Oh,
Turn
first,
around.
shots.
Oh yes, we could do shots. That's just.
Okay.
Is that because it's like the little Pixie version of drinks? Lovely.
Sure. Yes. So I she puts her hands on the ground, and then the little druid craft, and 3 vines come up on the ground, and then at the top of the vine comes almost like a tulip sort of flower, but it's they each hold about 1 ounce of liquid. And they're almost like they're not regular flower consistency. They're a bit almost like plastic. So, you feel like you could maybe grab the flower bud.
Mm.
And then
Yep, go on.
there's
Little
nothing
cheers?
in them yet.
There's nothing. You've
There's
done
nothing.
shots. You have to
It's
wait.
just a flower.
It's
Yeah.
just a flower, you idiot.
I thought it was an imaginary drink. Sorry. Yes.
I thought I
Rude,
remembered.
you think we
Yeah.
are.
I didn't want to. I thought it was funny.
And she pulls out a little like a sort of triangular black bottle that has a little tag on it that if you could read that writing tiny enough, you'd see that it says Tequiling Potion.
Oh.
And she comes over to you and she says, before I pour this, you're all agree? I'm not forcing these shots on you. You're all agreeing to drink them, yes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm on board.
Yes.
I need a stiff drink.
Okay, cool. I just have to do that for legal reasons. Anyway,
Fair.
so from this like little tiny triangle, she pours what seems like more liquid than the bottle could hold because it fills each of your flowers like a full ounce. Cheers!
Cheers.
Cheers!
To the Fae.
Glug, glug, glug.
The reason we do that is that typically you're not meant to accept food or drink from the Fae, so we just ask up front if you accept. So
It's gonna be fine. You guys are
Why
gonna
aren't
have
you-
a real.
Wait, why aren't you supposed to accept food or drink from the Fae?
sometimes it's poison, just as a prank. It's like a clever, but this time it's
not, though.
not. Just
Oh,
It's
okay,
not.
okay.
What was this shot? What did it taste like? Was it was it really like burny or was it easy?
No. It tasted amazing, but each of you probably tasted something entirely different. But like whatever your favorite flavor is.
Oh, great. So I wasn't
I
trying to
have to-
save face and pretend like, yeah, I can do shots. So it was actually delicious.
I am trying to find the Tequiling Potion that you
Oh,
made
I've
somewhere.
got
You
it.
have it there? Cool.
Do you want them to roll their things now?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So I'm gonna need each of you to roll a d4.
Okay.
D4, yeah.
Yeah.
Increase your charisma by that number for the next hour.
Oh, 4.
4.
Well, I got 2.
And then I need each of you to roll 1d12.
That is a D12. Yeah. 1.
Oh, 3.
Let's do 12, yeah.
I re-roll that. Is that how it works?
A 9.
Nice.
So 1d12 plus 3 is your dexterity for the next hour.
Oh.
So some of you go roll drunk.
I got 4.
And then 1d6 plus 2.
1d6
Oh, 6. 8.
3. Oh,
4.
5.
So 6 total.
Your hit points are increased by that amount.
Oh.
Woo.
For how?
Also, as a
For
temporary...
abs, or
What?
is
How
that
long?
like in general or for an hour?
That's up to Ben.
Yeah, let's say. Well, let's figure out if you end up with this item
Okay.
as a thing you take with you.
Okay.
And if so, then it'll be an hour. If not so, and you leave it behind, consider them permanent.
Okay.
And as a temporary state, you have an excessive amount of unearned confidence.
Ooh.
I certainly do.
This feels normal.
Yeah.
They are the effects of a tequiling potion, as we all know, in Hibernia.
Tequiling potion. It tequiles you.
And if we ever have merch or sponsorship from a tequiling company, we will sell our tequiling potions.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Iggy, fair bard of amazingness. To you, I gift. And I put a little thing in the ground, like try to do a real sleight of hand thing real quick, which is, very, very graceful. And then a vine comes up, and it's another flower, but it's a much larger flower. And it opens up, and it has an instrument of illusions. So, what instrument does Iggy play normally?
Should we lose Lucy? I think she might be
Iggy
frozen.
doesn't
Iggy
play
normally...
instrument. I'm an artist bard, so I.
Oh,
Can you? No.
oh, we're losing her.
No.
She's just
She was
so
so
overwhelmed
amazing.
with this gift.
Yeah.
Speechless.
I don't know. Oh my god. I can't believe this.
How did you know? It's just... I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Am I gone?
You're kind of coming in and out.
Can you hear me?
You might
or no? Oh shit! I'll just...
do a little refresh, and we can... Yeah, and you might be able to jump back in.
Come back in.
But while Iggy's gone, Iggy uses a kind of chalk, a sort of a black charcoal slate to draw on. She's like artistic in, but she can always bring that to.
It's a paintbrush.
Nice.
Good.
And right now it doesn't really do anything. But if she spends time with it,
Did we all drop?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. I will send that into little old chat beside me here.
Yeah.
it was too exciting.
Yeah.
It's like, no way, no how.
Oh,
For life.
what?
Paul might join us if we
Paul
are back.
is...
Damn.
Yeah,
I bet I was gonna give the tequiling potion to Huck, but I wanted to make sure that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Are we still live, Paul, or are we...
Oh,
nice.
No!
Hello!
It's just us. That's okay.
Oh.
That's okay. We can probably kind of carry on the show. It feels like, when you're doing a performance and you're a child and all your parents are just looking at you and you're like, just keep the show going. They're having a meltdown in the back. Just keep it going. I don't know that part. Just keep it. Just play anyone.
No, that actually, I mean, if I can tell you what the Instrument of Wonder does, or Instrument of Illusions does, so that you in the audience knows, but Lucy will have to figure it out in character.
Oh, good.
Brilliant. Yes.
Yeah.
And she never watches these shows back, so this is perfect.
So it's a paintbrush. It does require attunement. And generally the Instrument of Illusions is an actual instrument, but for this case we'll just homebrew. So it's a paintbrush. And while using it, she can create harmless illusory effects within a 5-foot radius sphere centered around the instrument. Yeah, and if you are a bard, which she is, the radius increases to 15 feet. So it's sample visual effects include luminous musical notes, a spectral dancer, butterflies, gently falling snow. The magical effects have neither substance nor sound, and they are obviously illusory. And the effects end when she stops painting. So basically, she'll be able to use the brush. She doesn't have to paint on anything. She can just paint in the air, and effects happen within 15 feet. But she has to attune to it first.
Yes. Yeah, I can fill Lucy in, and maybe we'll just let her try it out and see, and we'll just explain what happens in game, and this can be a little secret. Chat. Don't tell her anything. Don't talk to
tell
her on
her.
Discord. Ignore her for the rest of this show. And by the show, I just mean ever.
That's so rude. No, Lucy's nice.
You can talk about anything but this instrument. So
awkward
yes,
is
the
that?
guys
They
are just
don't-
joining back in, so we might see them jump on, but if not, then the show will go on.
The show must go on.
Show must go on. Show must go on. Yeah, how are y'all doing today? I'm sorry that I got so dark earlier when talking about America. It's just sad.
We don't blame you, Ash. If we don't place our blame anywhere,
You know, we're all working really hard to try to make things better. Yeah.
And that's all you can do
All right.
as a person.
Yeah.
We have a Lucy.
Oh, you know what I can talk about while we're waiting for Huck if you want
yes.
to.
Totally just
so-
plug everything you're doing.
Yeah, I know. I just plug things. So,
Yeah.
so
You're
first
surely
off,
plugging the hole in the
exactly.
content.
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
What was the last thing you heard, Lucy?
Well, the last thing I heard you asked me what instrument I play, and I was going to tell you I don't actually play any instruments because I'm the worst bard ever. But that I draw. But I think I started hearing Ben saying that, and then it all went black.
So
sorry.
So this vine comes up from the ground, and as it comes up, it's flowering, and it's just this beautiful vine, and a much larger. It's actually a very tall flower. Sort of like a closed orchid, opens up, or it's closed, or it appears. And then as it opens, instead of a stamen, it has a paintbrush. So at the very center of the orchid is this beautiful paintbrush, and it looks almost like glass, except for the bristles, which are very fine, like more fine than any paintbrush you've seen before. It's almost as though they are like wisps of the center of an orchid, and you feel like what do you want? That's what you see.
Oh, well, can I run my fingers through the bristly bit and go? Oh. I mean, can I? That's what I'm gonna try and do. Who knows what noise is gonna
You
make.
can certainly try.
Yeah.
What do you roll for that?
Rolls
And
a sensory satisfaction.
Can I pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably maybe take out the slate that I have and run the brush over the slate and see what happens.
Nothing happens just yet, but you get the feeling
That's
that
right.
spending some time.
Break it over my knee. Okay.
You didn't even try it with paint. Paintbrush, useless.
Magic
It's
paint.
just a paintbrush.
I haven't used paint before. Okay, yeah. Okay, so
But you
nothing
get the
happens,
feeling
but I
that
get,
spending some time with this item will unlock its magical properties.
like, for instance, using it in the intended purpose, like with paint. Cool. Okay, well, I'm just gonna. Can I rub it on my skin, the bristles a bit, just for fun?
But she is a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, it's not a makeup brush; it's a
Oh,
paint.
it's so soft.
No, I like it.
Thank you so much. Is this for me? Can I keep this?
Yes, that's why I said I was gifting it to you. There was a whole intro. There was like
There was a connectivity problem in my
Oh,
loaf,
I see.
and
You're
I've
right.
forgotten
You're
what we're doing.
I'm-
Yes.
So-
She's an idiot. I see. Yes.
Can I'm going to draw with some of my chalk. I'm going to just draw a little portrait of Ted and what I think they look like as in their most resplendent fashion, and give it to Ted as a thank you note.
Yeah, I do a performance check.
Yes.
This is the keg. It's not me doing anything on the.
That's a lot
that
louder.
does sound
Yeah, it wasn't
just
that
sound
loud
like
the last time.
people.
That's a 12.
It's rolled on advantage, actually.
Oh,
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, yes. Okay, excellent. Then that is a 23.
Mm.
Wow.
Significantly better. Almost twice as better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see an incredible facsimile of yourself. I don't know, has Ted ever seen? Obviously, Ted has seen their reflection, but like, has Ted ever seen like a painting or a drawing or like had a portrait done?
Of them?
Yeah.
No. No?
Wow.
No. Not a realistic one. I don't know that pixies really paint things as they are.
Mm. Incredible caricaturists. So just your worst features. Happy birthday.
Yeah. And she's on like a little motorbike or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she's got a friend that's always like, this is you as a horse. This is you as a beautiful lizard. And she loves them, but they don't look like her.
Mm.
This is amazing. I need a moment. Elder, can you talk, please?
I don't actually have the gifts for the rest of you, so I'll tell you a story instead. Once upon a time, there was a fox, and the fox was the king of the forest. And as king, Fox said, "All other animals shall do as I say, not do as I do." And so he went to the birds and said, "Don't be burrowing in the ground, that's for badger." And he went to the badger and said, "Don't be swimming in the lake, that's for tadpole." And he went to the tadpole and said, "You're weird." And he came home and said, "What a great day kinging." And thus, shall I tell you another story about my friend Mr. McGorry?
Please
You don't really get around, do you?
I'm not.
That was
I'm
beautiful. You appropriated all of the animals, and
Yeah, most of them. I forgot horse. He went to the horse and said, "Don't be out." No, wait.
horse! Oh my gosh! No, that's a okay. That's my next gift is for your horses. They were terribly ugly, and we had a chat with them, and it was not by their choice. It was weird.
They are gross.
That's they were just the horses we got.
I think
So-
my Estrella's quite handsome.
I have forgotten the name of my horse.
I wanted to show off that I did remember the name.
I am a big fan of Rattler. It's one of my favorites.
Of Rattler.
She does a little whinny. And the where did y'all leave your horse? Where did they leave the horses?
I think you just left them.
They were tied up, I thought, inside the glade.
Yeah, we got off the horses, got to the tree, and then went into the tree. They should be within eyesight.
So they went, and they gallop up. You didn't hitch them well.
Or at all.
Using their horsey mounts, just take up the little strap, take it up.
They've been unhitched.
Yeah, they've been.
And but they've all also been so all of their manes and tails have had some pixie work done to them. So they've all got beautiful braids and flowers in them, and they're led by. Do you want to describe my horse?
Yeah, so you see at the front of your kind of ragtag bunch of horses this incredibly sleek. It has a handsome face. Like, those horses that are just like, what? Like, they catch you by surprise. They just like, you just catch their eye in a field and you're like, holy, what a horse. This horse is a stud. And just very calmly sort of struts in front of the four. They're not quite a usual suspects group, but they're all feeling themselves. They're doing a little bit of a strut towards you. And if you think the flower work in your horses is good, this is beyond compare. It's like you can't even tell the difference between the braid and the daisy chain, and just like the sheer love that is and attention that has clearly gone into Ted's horse. Ted's horse is a horse, like not a pixie-sized thing. It's like a general horse that just seems to, and gives off the impression that it just likes hanging around this village. Everyone moves out of the way. There's quite a lot of respect here. Ted is the only pixie to own a horse. And the villagers are a little bit confused about why, but they understand it's less about like what you would like. It's less about employing a workhorse and more just about like good friendship. You know.
Yes, I do not own him. He is my best friend.
I am what name?
Oh, his name is Princess Francesca Adelasia.
Mm.
And he's an old black horse. He's actually, if you're familiar with Frisian breed, with the lovely, yeah, he's a Frisian.
Can I pet him? Can I?
Yes.
I'm gonna pet the shit out of that pretty horse.
I'm gonna
Princess,
run over.
this is Iggy.
Hello.
Do you speak horse?
No. I just make the noise you make towards animals.
And to paintbrushes, apparently.
Yes.
I'm gonna run over to my horse and go, "No, Corona, what have they done to you? You used to be so filthy." Don't worry, we'll dirty you up. You'll be smelling like death soon. Don't worry.
And Corona gives you a couple of nips. You don't know if they're affectionate or not. It's hard to
You're
get
gonna
a
murder him
read.
as well.
I guess I'll go up to Rattler and be like, "Oh, you look younger almost like you're not on 1 day away from retirement." Well, they've gotten.
It's like that dirty sort of grungy HBO mustache that Rattler had has been shaved into a sweet little NBC mustache. Family friendly.
I don't know about this, Rattler. Maybe we'll let it grow. We'll let that grow back in. But the rest of it's lovely.
What do the
Arlington's
horses
horse-
think? What are they saying?
The horses are chatting amongst themselves, going like, "Well, I actually quite liked I liked being loved and cared for, and is this what you do when you're retired? Like when we stop having to go on adventures with adventurers, do they just look after you?" It's like, yeah, I think they do. We should start a horsey union. We need to start a horsey union. We'll let them know next time they're riding. And one of them's just like, "Where's mine? Maybe I'm already free. The smelly, hairy one is gone. This could be my opportunity, fellas. This could be, everything's coming up me. Arlington's horse." Had quite an impact on my psychological makeup that I can't even remember my goddamn name. You know, when I was born, my mother called me Little Fawn. I was quite the wee keg. And they came along and gave me these stupid names. They all seem... They're a little bit more pernicious than when you left them, if that's the right word. Is that the right word?
What does pernicious mean? I've heard it, but I don't...
I guess
okay,
that's what I'm trying to go for. So if it's not that, they're a little bit
that
more.
sounds about right.
They got a little bit more self-confidence, and they've got a little bit more kind of, "Oh, you used to treat me bad. Well, I know my self-worth, so deal with that." Because they've spent as much as you've been saying that it's been 5 minutes. You genuinely were away for 3 days. So they've spent 3 days just being loved. Yeah. We might change that later, but sure. Let's just say for the sake of this, you were gone for 3 days.
They had a spa weekend.
They really did. Good.
Did I miss other gifts? What happened while I was in the other plane?
Oh, we waited for you.
Oh, that's so nice.
So we spent time loving your horses, and that was for them. But just so you know, that might not go so well for y'all if you don't continue to treat them nicely. And I didn't really think about that in retrospect. But they deserved, some nice times.
Well, we've only had them very recently, but we've been treating them well, as well as we treat ourselves, certainly.
We specifically didn't let an ogre eat them, so
I
that's
kept them
good
protected
initiative.
from an ogre, a horrible, poisonous ogre.
Yes. And I see that they have higher standards now, and maybe we should have higher standards for how we treat ourselves as well.
I'm a prince now.
That you are.
Indeed, then, I suppose.
Out of character question, Gavin, I don't know, you're not a magic user, right?
No, I'm not. I'm a rogue, and a swashbuckling rogue at that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool,
I'm a sneaky, acrobatic, charismatic, hydromatic kind of a halfling.
Lovely callback to famed Dungeon Master Olivia Newton-John there.
Yeah, that one's for you, Ben.
This is a good one.
Good. You're lucky I didn't go for Xanathar to the theme of Xanadu. That was my
God.
I was like, Xanathar, Xanadu, easy peasy, got it done. I was like, no, we go together. I think I can fit a lot of the modules into this one. Did you have a bottle of tequila for Huck, or I don't want
Yes. Ruin the surprise, but that's okay.
It's just like every secret Pixie gift giving. There's always a bottle of tequila. She's really good at making it.
It's my favorite. Okay. Prince Huck.
Yes, Pet.
Neil.
You know what? Okay. Neil.
Okay. No, this is required for the gift giving.
I have some of my memories back, but sure, let's go with it.
Cool. Okay. She puts her hands on the ground, and from there a little tree spouts, and it's just cute little tree, and it the branches kind of come up and then surround each other, so it becomes this very sort of thick amalgam of branches around kind of a triangular shape, but it's like bottle size. She said you have to peel back the branches.
Oh.
It's a present. You have to unwrap you've seen presents.
Of course, that's how it works. I will do that now.
And if there's more leaves, you have to pass it on to the next person. I'm sorry, it's just fairy rules. He's put himself like right beside you, like his mouth is watering.
I'm going to make sure to peel them all so that there's not more leaves, that I get in the one layer. And I'm going to stare at them. Glare at them, rather.
So you peel it back?
Yeah.
All right, inside is an all black bottle. It's triangular. It looks like a larger version of the one that she pulled out earlier.
Ooh. Another drink.
I think, did we have rounds? Did we have uses assigned to the Tequiling Potion? Or, because
yes,
equally
also,
we roll the
if
dice
he tries to pour it right now, nothing comes out.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I wasn't, I was going to open it and look in, but...
Tis empty!
Well, it's a fine bottle. It looks like a lovely bottle.
I think you should spend some time getting to know that bottle.
You should spend some time getting to know the bottle.
It's the opposite of what people usually advise. But well, that's
I usually don't tell people this because it's more fun to watch them try to figure it out for a really long time, actually. People are really dumb. But I will tell you because you are the prince and I serve you. That particular bottle really likes being sung to.
Okay, great. Well, I have an excellent singing voice as my companions, I'm sure I'll tell you. I always sing them to sleep. That's what I always do. On top of the stories that I tell them.
Well, that's what you should do with this. If you're out for a couple of drinks, cradle the bottle and sing to it as you fall asleep.
And the old triangle.
Well, I think he's done this before. I think he's gotten one of these.
That was a very good song.
Glug. Sorry.
I was just going to let you finish the song.
Some of the Pixies joined in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We have 2 more gifties. Trying to figure out the best way to. Okay. You, sir.
Me, sir?
You should kneel too.
Yes, of course.
I'm still on my knees. I'll pull him to Andrew's knees.
You just pull him down next to you.
Yeah.
I should also say after the gifts are pulled out and the shot glasses are pulled out, the plants sort of slowly go back into the ground. Okay. So
they give a little toodaloo. They're nice. They're a little slinky. These plants. They got some sass.
So she again puts her hands on the ground, and a very large stump appears, but it's got it's got a flat top, and it's about do you guys use feet? So it's like a foot tall.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got a handle on it, like you could just open it like a chest.
Okay. I open it. Like a
Inside,
chest.
inside is a black shimmery cloak.
Ooh.
Oh, you got a cloak there, good.
I can't believe he didn't check that chest for traps. I mean, like, is he really the sneaky? Every time, like he should have. We should have just put poison in there. I think.
Oh, one of those little pinpricks, and you're dead.
Ah, damn it.
Asleep for 1,000 years.
So it is a black shimmery cloak, and for your sake, this is a cloak of displacement.
Ah, brilliant.
Ooh.
Yes.
Cloak of displacement. What does that
But
do?
for now, it just means it's a black shimmery cloak, and it's so pretty.
What it does, Reen, is if you put it into water, some of the water will get in like a ball. Some of the water will fall off the sides.
Very important.
Yeah, regardless of the size or shape of it's just a little bit, just kind of falls off. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yes. It's called manners, guys.
I don't know the whole. I mean, do I have a different type of language now that I'm king, talking to prince talking to normal folk? I need to learn a whole
common. Yeah, you're also speaking common. You do speak Sylvan now, though, so you can. That's from a couple of episodes back. You can add that to your character sheet. You speak Sylvan.
Cool. I won't try that yet.
I do have one final gift. It is for your friend that isn't here.
We will take it in his stead.
We plan to find him, I guess, wherever he went.
And she goes and she puts her hand on the nearest tree. And from that tree, a branch comes out, but it doesn't grow like a regular branch. It comes out sort of almost stubby, and it turns into a round, thick box, like it's a long box. There, you'll have to pull it off. The tree will let you have it.
I check it for traps.
Yeah. Roll a d20. Do a trap check? No, I know what this is. This is if you have Thieves' Tools, add your proficiency in Thieves' Tools. That's what that is.
Add your proficiency.
No, don't. It's an investigation. Sorry, I don't know where my DM brain went there. I was like, there's a very obvious skill here.
That's a 2. Big old 2.
And poisons himself to death.
Yeah, then I pull down the pig.
It's not trapped, but you somehow still manage to give yourself a splinter on this one box. Oh shit! Giving yourself 1 hit point of damage.
Damn it!
You now just have that tiny little bit of wood underneath your skin. You can't even find the entrance where you're like, oh, I'm either gonna have to peel it off, or it'll be at you.
Yeah, I get you. Oh, fuck's sake.
But you're holding. Is the box heavy, or is it kind of seemingly light?
It's like the weight of wood of that size.
Should we open it for him or keep it in the box? Iggy, Huck, what do you think?
And the latch is like little like leaves, sort of like vines.
Well, Ted, do you have any instructions that we should pass on to Arlington about this box if we give it to him?
It's a gift for Arlington.
Okay.
Okay.
You probably just wait and give it to him then?
Can I suggest, as friends, you should probably give each other presents more? It seems like you've never been showered with love in your lives. Like you have some kind of tragic backstories you're trying to work through a series of adventures to find some sort of self-closure. It's a read I'm getting, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just be kinder to one another.
You're way off. I've been showering them with love for since I met them, and they're very standoffish about it, to be honest.
Yes, love and fire.
Yes. Your presents come in life-threatening ways.
Well, that's the best way. You're thankful for life after you meet me.
There we go.
I don't know. I feel like if you treat yourselves like you treat your horses, well,
Hey, look, we got the horses that way. We didn't treat them that way. We've only had them a day, and they're a lot better than they were when we got them.
Well, thanks to us. You can't take credit for something.
We
brought them here.
Yeah, we brought them here, and then this happened. That's, you know.
you did bring them here, and then you tied them to a tree and left them in the woods for 3 days.
I don't tied them to a tree at all. I think we just left them there.
I think you're mixing caustic causation with coronations. You don't know the caustic from the coronations.
Right. We should give each other more coronations. Got you. Yeah.
Yes. Caustic coronations. Yes.
Well, you know.
Correlations.
Yeah, I'd like to peek at what Arlington's present is. I don't get it.
So you try to open it?
Yeah, I tried to open it.
When you try to open it, one of the little leaves slaps your hand. It goes, no!
Oh.
I love that.
Well, I've been told.
Maybe we'll keep it for Arlington. Speaking of, where is he and how are we going to find him again?
Oh, well, he's pretty big and, you know, smelly. I'm sure we'll find him. He can't have gone far.
These trees for you, and Evergreen flies up. I do not see your big friend anywhere nearby.
I do not smell him either.
We need to find out where he went and how we get there. And I know a library back in Drea.
Perhaps you should all take a rest first. A good laugh and a long sleep will cure anything.
That's a good idea, Ted. You haven't led us astray yet.
We could tell some stories around the fire. I've already told stories, so I won't amuse you any further.
I think you're all storied out. Maybe some other storytellers might want to turn.
But I would love to know your story. So if we all maybe pack it in for the night. I don't know if you have food. We can grow it. Should you want?
That would be great. We do have food, but
only thing we don't serve
it's just rations. So.
And if you all wanted to spend some time getting to know your gifts, it's up to you.
And learn the lesson. I mean, it's really. Ted doesn't do this out of cruelty. It's just, when you give someone a gift and then you visit their abode and you see it's just gathering dust on the shelf. When you get a gift, just spend some time with it. It's decent. It's cute. It's pixie decency.
Mm-hmm. I'm still rubbing the paintbrush all over my face, so I'm nodding, being like, yeah, guys.
Don't get to know it too well.
She's a very tactile companion. She's always going up and touching traps and things.
and as the rain is quite heavy, so you do step under what a series of pixies have sort of created for your benefit, not for theirs, a shelter over this entire glade. And now you're getting that lovely kind of like pitter-patter of rain over what is something quite cozy. A fire has been started. Again, it took them some time, and you could see in the corner of your eye, they were just building. You can see beside this fire a series of smaller fires as they try to guess the scale of fire they needed to build for people of your size. So there are a few just mini ones, like little tea candles. And it is quite a cozy, lovely evening. Some rain is still getting through, but you have your yurts to sleep in. And I think at that moment in time, we will take our break. And we'll come back in as we kind of gather around the fireside and share tales of adventure. And, one of the pixies come up and goes, well, I know a game we can play where we all imagine we're different people and we roll some sticks. And it's like, oh, that takes hours. Shut up, Covenant. And there is where we will take a break. Before we do, though, and while we were sort of in server meltdown, Ash, we were actually chatting about some of the things you're up to outside of this game, outside of the stream.
You don't have to do that. That was like a time killer.
No, we absolutely. Well, it's in my notes. There's very few things in my notes, but Plug Ash's stuff is in there.
Plug Ash. Yes, as always, I did recently. I say recently. At this point, it was like in May, so it's like 2 months ago. But during the COVID times, which is like a day long, but also like 10 years long, I did a little mini shot of Endymion's Gate, which is a hill folk game. You can find it on Good Time Society YouTube. That's Endymion's Gate. Amazing cast. It's only 6 episodes. Each of them is 2 hours or less. It's hill folk, in which everyone is the DM, which is really fun. And we used some cool Zoom tricks to make it all weird and sciencey. It's sci-fi. It's a really dark sci-fi. It gets real dark.
Very cool tricks. I was like,
did you see it?
Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's incredible, which is why I was inspired to kind of add some of that ensemble stuff to this. It's really nice to be able to just have like true collaborative storytelling is a wonder to behold, and this is a perfect example of that. So go watch the episodes.
Yeah, it's really fun. And it gets real dark. It gets really, really dark. But it's, in a good way. Also, I think I've mentioned, I produced an event called D&D in a Castle, in which folks play Dungeons and Dragons in castles in England. We don't do it right now because we can't go anywhere and nobody, wants Americans right now, so we're not traveling. But what we are starting soon, within the next couple of weeks, is a thing called Sword and Scroll, which is a monthly membership where you can play with professional and amazing world-renowned DMs online. So you can have a membership and you spend your gold, and then you can play like weekly with, really amazing dungeon masters. Because we're all in the digital world, so it's very fun. So that's coming up. Yeah, and also look, I guess, on my Twitter for announcements. I'm doing some other games for other people.
And if you don't know where to find Ash's Twitter handle or account, if you're already following us, you'll see that we've tagged Ash pretty much in every episode. So with special guest Ash Minnick, and you'll be able to follow her there. So go check it out. I'm really excited about everything that's coming up. Like everything you do, I'm just looking at from afar, being like, oh my God, just like screaming in my own home. So we will be back in about 15 minutes. We're just going to do some stuff. I might just try flush my internet. I think I dropped the call. I am Spartacus. So I think it might have been me. So because it's my meeting link. So I'm just going to check that out and see if we can get that all good for part 2. Until then, refresh your drinks. If you have a big keg at your table like me, then
keg number.
Yeah, crack into that second keg.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be back in 15 minutes. I think there's no point in stalling any longer. See you then.
See you guys.
Hey, and welcome to part 2 of Homebrew, the show where we use alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons to avoid responsibilities in our everyday life. At least every second Tuesday when we play this game. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching along to the show. I presume you're not just joining us right now and that you've seen part 1, so we can pretty much dive straight into part 2, where we left off. The party, minus Arlington the Bugbear Barbarian, who has mysteriously disappeared in a puff of magical smoke and mirrors. We're all settling down for the evening in a pixie village in this idyllic glade, some distance away from the magical elven city of Dreht. And as you all kind of settle in for the night and you're served up some lovely, cozy, sort of just homely food, kind of the earth, natural stuff. The type of food that just sort of soothes the soul. And you can feel as you're eating, it's settling some of the effects of the Tequiling Potion that you had earlier. So it's a little bit of stodge to offset some of the more nastier effects of taking a shot of Tequiling Potion.
Soakage.
And... Pardon?
Soakage.
Yes, yeah, you're getting a little bit of a... they serve you up a 3-in-1. It's curry, chips, and rice. It's what everyone needs. And essentially your entire time here has been spent with Ted, who has been sort of your protector and pixie savior, and then Evergreen, the elder of this pixie village. You've gotten to know some of the other characters, some of the other kind of classic Smurf-like, you know them by their profession and their personality. But they kind of huddle you together around a small fire as the evening sort of rolls in. Something that's kind of interesting, and you'll notice as time goes on, there's no setting of the sun. It's just like you notice as hours kind of pass by, and we'll cut back to the beginning of this. It hasn't become night yet. It's just something you kind of pick up. And Evergreen turns to you and goes, well, I guess we were talking stories, and I was actually kind of wondering, aside from the healing bats of Dreht, what brings you to the area?
Just general adventuring. For me, it was the gassa that I put on myself. That was the thing that we were doing. I don't know. I mean, Iggy's got some stuff going on in her home life. She's doing some adventuring, and Rian's got all sorts of pirate stories. That really is very
special. Pirate stories.
Oh, yes, I love pirate stories.
I've never seen the sea.
Oh, have you not? It's a beautiful place.
Is it purple, like they say?
Sometimes it's purple. Sometimes it's blue. Sometimes it really reflects the sun a lot of the time and reflects the sky. So it's changeable.
Oh, wow!
Oh.
Deep and mysterious. That's my sea.
He ever gets.
And you're a pirate.
No. I was under the I was a captive of pirates for some time, but now my goal is to hunt pirates.
Oh, and is this the kind of hunting where you just ask them to stop piracy, or is this the kind of hunting where you kill them outright?
It depends on the pirate.
Well, that's good news for convincing them that it depends on the fairy.
Yeah, maybe they have judgment based on the person or the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you can't be black and white about these things. I mean, you can't just go kill all pirates. Not all pirates are bad. A lot are, but
I think it's also slightly different because you do choose to be a pirate, right? Whereas you're born of Fae. It's not something you control. Whereas a person makes a decision to become a pirate and steal from other people. So.
Well, that's fair enough, but a lot of people would have considered me a pirate when I was working for the pirates, but I never chose that.
I see. So you're saying it's a vocation?
No, not like the pirate life chose me. Although it did choose me, but like in more of a kind of
You were like an apprentice.
No, yeah, the kind
of journeyman's pirate.
It's journeyman. Yes.
Except I didn't get paid, and if I tried to leave, they would kill me. So
You
So
were
you're
an
an
intern.
intern.
Yes, you were an intern.
yes,
We
I
have
was
that.
an intern. That's it.
Yes.
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 Pirate intern.
I like
And
the
that
sound of that.
It is shocking that they did not keep you on.
Thank you.
Internships
You're really
should lead to prospects, not just free labor.
well. It turns out I didn't really want to be a pirate in the end. I'm much more comfortable as an adventurer.
I suppose if you end your internship with declaring that you're going to hunt them down and kill them, they probably aren't going to offer you a full-time job.
I think you've got the timeline on that wrong. Like I wasn't like mid-internship. Sorry, can we call it what it was? It wasn't an internship. I appreciate you trying to recontextualize a lot of my trauma, but I don't think it's helping.
So they gave you the boot and not the booty. Is that what you're saying?
That is another fun way of putting it. Yes.
Well, I think we'll be telling stories of pirates here in this village exactly as you've explained it for generations to come.
The
well,
pirate intern.
Great to see pirate interns. R. Is that what they say? R.
Or
And
are
they
you
do-
allowed to say R as an intern, or do you have to earn the right to say R?
Is it
Uh,
or? Did they say or where you're from, or is it R?
And they
What do
say,
you
"Ah."
wear? Did you have to have like special, like an orange shirt? It's like, those are our interns. Or,
Well, rags. Yes, I wore rags at the time, and I had to wear them because they were the only thing that I had. Yeah, so there was a uniform in a way, yeah.
This is so fascinating.
It sounds a lot better this time round than when you were talking about it before. It doesn't sound as bad as you made out.
No, was there something in that Tequiling potion? Because I'm feeling much cooler about the whole pirate stealing my life thing now than I was like a couple of days ago.
It doesn't even seem that bad, really. It was just a bit of a job. Toss it up for a bad lot and move on,
We've all been there, right? Where we feel like we've just wasted our life on a project that just,
It goes nowhere.
right?
Yeah.
How do you think I feel about being the elder of this village? Like all my life, I was born old.
Well, I suppose that's the thing about being an elder. If you're the elder and then you don't die, no one can possibly get any older than you.
Ooh.
Whoa,
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good point.
His face just goes sheet white because he realizes the only way out of this job. Oh shit!
Or you could move to a village with older people.
Oh, I could become a pirate of the land.
First, you have
Travel.
to become a pirate intern. I think it's a.
Is
And
it
trust
too
me,
young to start? Am I too old to start?
According to the pirates, you're never too old to start. They will take you in and treat you like crap, no matter what age you are.
Oh, how fun!
Accommodating.
And would you give me a recommendation? Who was your captain?
I would recommend something to you. Avoid pirates at all costs.
Should we avoid you then?
I'm not a pirate, though.
Or a Joe
He's
pirate
not a
intern.
pirate.
He's an intern.
Yes, he's a pirate intern.
Yes, not the
I
same.
suppose, yes. So pirate interns, okay. Since we don't seem to have a word for slave here. But I think that, yeah, anyone who's forced to be a pirate is fine. Anyone who chooses to be a pirate, bad news. So if you were to give up being the elder of this village to go be a pirate, you'd be choosing to be a pirate, and therefore you'd be a bad guy.
And role play a little with me. I'm in the interview process, and they say, "Were you forced or choosed?" Best answer to that situation is, where do I see myself in 5 years of pirate? Forced to be a pirate or choosing to? What do they want to hear?
They want to hear that you are choosing to. No, well, actually, pirates kind of hate other pirates too. So it's kind of a catch-22.
What if he hangs out by the sea where the pirates are, and he says, "Oh man, I really wish no one would make me a pirate," and then they grab him and they say, "Too bad, you're a pirate."
That's how they got me. That is how they got me.
Well, then you were sort of asking for it, were you not?
I wasn't saying that exact thing. I was out for a life of adventure, as we all were.
Please make us maple, that kind of thing.
Wait, so you did actually go to the sea and say, "I want a life of adventure. Does anybody want to help me with that?" Is that what you said?
No, I didn't. I don't believe I said anything. Sure, my internal monologue was going, "Oh boy, a life of adventure on the seven seas awaits me." But I mean, who was to know? I mean, I suppose the gods and karma that they could give me some sort of monkey's paw type deal where they turn me into a pirate in turn. I'm starting to think that this might have been my fault.
And just timeline between you leaving home and a loving, caring set of parents and becoming a pirate. How long between life of adventure? Like instantly did they capture you, or a little bit of
Was it a loving? You left your loving home by choice, or was that a forced thing?
I chose that, but I didn't know that I'd be forced to be a pirate.
I don't know that you were.
I think that
I was. I was forced. I was forced.
It sounds like he was in rags.
He was already in the uniform. He went to the sea. He said, "I want to adventure." Uniform.
Yeah.
And the pirates were there and said, "Okay."
I'm starting to think that you Fae people are willfully twisting my words to make it seem like my traumatic experience was my fault. You're victim blaming is what you're doing. I was forced into a life of servitude by pirates, and you're like, "Well, what were you wearing? Maybe it was your fault."
Oh, that's true. That does sound. When you say it back to us, it sounds worse than we.
Who are you calling you Fae people?
Oh yes,
I'm sorry. I'm lashing out.
Iggy has been sketching out sort of like a storyboard of the pirate intern, sort of scene by scene, and I can't like how I have it depicted. What must have happened was you on the beach with your rags saying, "I don't want to be a pirate," and there's a palpable wink in the shot. So yeah, I'm now on board with thinking. Yeah, I think Rian chose this life.
Iggy, how much time has passed since the gift giving?
Hang on.
Oh, it's been a couple of hours, I think. So yeah.
How much time have you spent rubbing the paintbrush on your face?
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Knowing Lucy in real life, that is true.
Agree.
Why? Does that have any effect?
Yeah,
Am I covered in some sort of...
No. You realize that as you sort of wave this paintbrush around, and as you're sort of using it to imagine the storyboard, these scenes start to come to life around you. That what you're holding in your hand is a paintbrush of illusions, and that you are able to create sort of visual illusions of the things you want to manifest in the world in a 15-foot radius.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what's been really difficult for Rian right now is to try convince the entire fairy village of his perspective as what they're watching behind you. And Rian, you can tell that their eyes just keep kind of they're kind of catching you, and they're kind of catching this incredible like display of what is a more convincing version of the story, because it's in full Technicolor. You're standing in front of propaganda.
My own propaganda, or the
Pixie propaganda.
Sorry,
you turn back and realize that there's been a smudge, and paint on the windscreen that you're standing in front of. That's made you look like a fool.
That's amazing.
This is Fae parties. This is what I remember. I mean,
Well,
parties. But
how did you all like? If you're a pirate intern and you're an artist and you're the prince, and at that, like everyone goes, "Woohoo! What is the prince?"
I stand up and make my cloak billow a bit. You know.
He's doing the thing.
Whisper to Rian, like, this is really going to go to his head.
Yeah. I know. Maybe we could get rid of him at this juncture.
Yeah, I start to see if I can instigate. Are we all in a circle? Can I try to instigate a Mexican wave along the? I'll start getting people and running in a circle while they're questioning whether or not this is.
What is a Mexican wave?
Is that an in-character question or a real?
That is an out-of-character question. That's what
Oh,
is it?
Oh, in America,
all,
it's just called the wave.
It's just called the wave.
The wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
We live in the
I haven't
Americas.
been to a sporting event since the mid '90s.
I've never heard it called that before. That's amazing.
Did we just see it in a football match between like Ireland and Mexico first? And
It
we were
might
like,
have been-
this is the best.
It
It
could
might
very
have
well
been Italia 90, yeah.
Yeah, you can do it. It's less impressive because it's you who is a full-size halfling, and it's the village who are full-size pixies. So it's,
That's-
you signing up and then just...
That's as may be. I'm still gonna get them all to go and do a wave in
Yeah.
a second. I'll be running around being like, yeah, Huck.
So, tell me, before we pack it in for the night, and I presume, where are you heading to next? You need to find your friend Arlington.
We do.
And then... Oh, see.
Do you? That was great. I'm pretty tired. Do you know? I just heard the. Do you know maybe how we could find Arlington? Do you have any idea? I think personally, it might have been a bit of my wild magic going a bit mad there when I was finding myself.
You think?
Well, when I lose something, it's always in the last place I think to look for it.
Oh, okay.
That helps. Yes?
The first place I looked was right here, so I guess it has to be the next place if we're to find him immediately.
Do you have any means of contacting him?
Nope.
I mean, if only you had some pals. There are these incredible inventions where they help you find your pals. It's a compass.
You've heard of compals. That's true.
Everyone's heard of
explain-
compals. They're all the
that would
rage.
explain how a friend of ours found them. No one knows what they're for, and we all think it's a pretty stupid name.
They're a compass for your pals.
Did we buy that?
Who knows? We might have some.
Check your pockets.
I don't think
Yeah.
you did buy the compals.
No, I think
And
the name put us off.
Yeah.
Elder Evergreen, I have an idea.
Ooh.
Well, it appeared as though Arlington disappeared into another dimension, maybe, and Blueberry hangs out in other dimensions. Maybe he could look for him.
Oh,
If Sir Blueberry wants to go and have a quick look, that'd be.
I trust Blue.
It would be a quest.
it would be a quest.
It would
A
be.
royal quest.
And do you think Blueberry should go alone, or do you want to go with Blueberry, or?
I
could do.
I mean,
He'd have
you're
to
welcome
take
to. Mhm.
We would both be on a quest.
It sounds like there's another. It's this adventuring thing just falls into your lap. It's like quest after quest after quest. It's just like endless questing.
You get a quest.
I need to write a letter to Rua before I leave again, of course. I must check in with my lady.
and you said we might be able to meet Rua.
We
we
could
can
drop
I suppose
the
we could try
letter.
contact her, but it's not the sort of thing where she arrives at our beck and call. Like she's better things to be worrying about.
like
Her own business.
What about
which I should be minding. I get it.
What about the return of the Fey Prince Huck? Would you be interested in that?
Well, she might be interested in that.
I,
Ted, do you want to try contact Rua? Just see.
Yes.
Now everyone has to look away because every sentinel, every avenger of the glade has a different way of contacting Rua. It's up to them how they do it, and we all close our eyes.
Before I do, is there anybody else who has something interesting about themselves that Rua might like?
Ooh,
She only wants to talk to people that help her or are interesting or sometimes have fun games.
Oh, so she's not interested in, she's not looking for people to help then, I suppose.
No.
Never mind then.
What interesting thing. I have Fraggle and I take out the magical sword of Lou.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
Okay.
look at this old sword. That's really cool. I got it in a tomb, and there was a shadow there that tried to suck the life out of me. It's a funny story, but I'll save it for Rua.
Aye, that was our first big quest. First and only tomb, in fact.
So,
Eggy, do you need help? Is that why you...
You should call it a one-um, then. I mean, if it's the only thing, you shouldn't call it a two-um. It should be a one-um.
Yeah, but then people might think I was saying womb.
And that would be your first and only womb, too. Yeah. So, yes. But I can see the confusion in the words.
Aye, it's simpler in Sylvan, but in Common, it's confusing. Your joke would have been good in Sylvan, but in Common, I'm afraid it doesn't make any sense to anyone.
Do you have any Fae secrets? Or secrets of the Fianna?
Oh, yeah, she'd be interested to hear what the Fianna are up to.
Yes. Would you be willing to tell her what the Fianna are up to?
We'll certainly be willing to talk to her about it. Rian might know a bit more about certain people.
That's what I'll say. I'll say that the missing prince has finally returned, and he brings news of the Fianna, who he has been working with undercover to gain information to help us reclaim our lands and independence.
Aye.
Yeah, that's sure.
Aye. You know, it occurs to me, there's twice now you've called her a guardian or a sentinel, and then used the word avenger.
Yes, it's a cool word. It's a very
it's a cool word. Is she avenging anything in particular?
The Fae. We've been very clear. Like
there was a big war.
And we've
been killed a lot.
Were you listening earlier, or the gifts just sort of? It was gifts and then no information.
To be fair, Elder, they've never gotten gifts before.
That's true.
We didn't read the card. We just unwrapped the present and then threw the card in the bin.
That's the word. Our luck is forever tainted.
So, quick recap before she arrives. The Fae lived here. Your folk, not you, Huck. You're a hybrid, I guess.
The folk you pretend to be.
Yes, yeah. The folk you pretend to be pushed us out, trapped us in the other world, and Rua is upset about that for obvious reasons.
They also killed a lot of us and then told everybody we steal babies.
Like, that baby rumor is something where did it even start?
Well, we saw one of them stealing babies.
Yeah, no smoke without fire, and we saw the fire.
Oh.
Right.
One baby stealing is not an entire culture of people make.
I know. That's
you don't have to tell me.
I will rephrase in words you understand. Rua was forced into an internship by the Fianna, and she would like to revenge them because of the forced internship. In fact, all of the Fae were forced into an internship. Yes.
Wow. Sounds rough. And none of them were kept on. Maybe they asked to be put into an internship. That's how you sounded. Not just, I'm on your side, but that's how you sounded.
Some of them
I
might have.
don't remember saying that, and therefore it did not happen.
I wasn't there. I don't know. Some of them could have asked, but I feel like they probably would have regretted asking that in retrospect.
Like, does it not bother you that the sun sets and rises every day? That's annoying. If it could just stay the same time every day, that perfect golden hour where where drink tastes even better. It's that time as if it's like just after work, just before evening, I guess. It's like, and you feel like you've done a hard day's work. You never have. But if the world could just stay that way, that would be.
People choose.
What do you think happened when they put all the Fae in a different, like, it's not like it always was night and day, night and day. There was a war, we were trapped, and then suddenly night and day, as if that's change, as if that's how you, no wonder all of you stay inside in your safe little homes all the time, thinking that change is happening.
They are safe. You know, that's where you stay.
And bored.
I have to say, having been out there a lot, there's a lot of them are quite boring. You wouldn't believe how many people turn down playing a game.
Do you know a game?
Oh, there's all sorts of games. Rian used to have a pack of cards, but he purposely didn't tell me about them.
You have cards?
It would have caused a lot of problems.
I'm gonna tell Rua you have cards. I've never seen cards.
She would be very interested in cards.
Yes, I have a second pair of cards that I have also not told Huck about.
2 packs of cards.
You got one of those packs where it's both red and blue. Just gave away the red pack.
Rian, I can't believe this. You've made an enemy of royalty.
So we're
cards. Rua loves games. Sometimes she comes and we play games for days and weeks at a time. I think they're days and weeks. They might be years or months or maybe seconds, but they feel like days because it turns black several times before we're done with the game.
So even though it stays the same time, it turns black.
Well, Rua can't. It doesn't. We're in the same, like, night and day happens here. We're here. Rua's here. We want to go back to where it's all the same, but we don't want to go back to the barren land you've set up. We want night and day to be gone from here. This is our home.
Set up any land. I'm like you.
In fact, your father might. I've never asked him about how he feels. We've been too busy playing games.
I was still talking to him about his feelings.
That's true. He called me Mr. Feelings when I asked him once, how are you? He's like, oh, and then it stuck for decades.
It was so funny.
I remember.
I forgot about that.
I heard of you. I remember that.
So the plan is, we ask Fia to come. She meets you. You tell her, 1, Fianna secrets. 2, play some games. 3, be, for the love of all be interesting. Please. Her attention span is very difficult to stay in grasp of.
You use your paintbrush.
Ooh.
Okay.
We can talk and be interesting. That's never been a problem.
Okay. And then I think that's it.
And can she help us find where Arlington is?
She can do everything.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Is everything finding Arlington?
Well, I guess it might be.
Yeah, that sounds great then.
Yeah. Ben, I'm also loving this. For the love of God, stay interesting. As a great, this is a show, so you should.
Yeah.
And when you meet this character, be interesting.
Act better.
Yeah.
As opposed to...
Yeah. Did you read that straight from the live chat? Interesting.
Yeah. For the love of God, we are losing them. We're going to have to shut down the network.
How about you guys just role play being interesting, yeah?
Well, I rolled a 1.
So she sort of flutters up to the very, very top of the tallest tree near them, and she pulls out a little tiny magic scroll, like a pen, that's also made of glass and kind of very shimmery. And she writes a letter upon the bottom of a leaf, and it kind of like the words appear almost like in gold as she's writing them. And then she whispers very softly to the leaf something. in Sylvan you can't understand because it's in Sylvan and you've got your eyes closed and she's at the top of a tree. And then she flutters back down to the exact spot she was and says, okay.
Well, I guess we wait.
Oh, and the leaf also, after she whispers, the leaf comes off from the tree and sort of flies into the wind.
Oh.
So, what are you? What you mentioned? How long does Rua usually take? Is she?
I
don't know if you've grasped our grasp of time.
I don't know.
Oh yes.
She takes
And at that moment in time, you all hear a voice, and it wraps itself around you like silk. And there's a warm gust of wind that flows through the forest glade, and the words that she says sort of drip and soothe like warm honey. As she goes, "Oh, no wonder my ears are burning. I think that's quite enough gossiping about me for one day, don't you?"
Hello.
Then again, there's only one thing in life worse than being talked about. And searching for the source, you all turn to this solitary birch tree in the center of the glade. And something about the way the evening light dances around the slender branches and leaves, you can see that there is a hint of a face smiling at you in the way the branches are moving. So she's not here in person, but she's sort of manifested herself through, if you can imagine, the best puppet theater you've ever seen of a tree creating a face in the wind. And it's hard to make out specific features, just that it belongs to an elegant looking lady with striking, almost hyper exaggerated elven features. All of the elements, the patter of rain, the drifting of tree branches and leaves, the shape of the shadows cast behind are creating this illusion of a face before you, the face of Rua. So, secrets about the Fianna. I would be absolutely glee-ridden if you were to tell me more. And a branch sort of moves and like positions itself underneath this face. Ted, you have done incredibly well.
Thank you, mistress.
And all of you. Well, what a fascinating troupe of adventurers I have in front of me. And Rua, or the tree Rua, looks towards you, Huck, and goes, "You have an awfully familiar visage. Have we crossed paths?"
Well, I didn't know. I'm just sort of finding myself again, but perhaps we had. I'm Huck, the prince around these parts.
Ah,
So I gather.
Huck. You are the protege of King Puck.
Yeah, that I be.
And you're here to help me.
Well, no, I just, they were all talking about you in such high regard, and I said, sure, maybe we should meet this Rue if she's around and have a chat with her.
What a particular quandary. You hang on. There's two small ones. Oh, and you. And you see the tree kind of point towards you, Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. But urgent question, where is your Brobdinag companion?
Who?
I'm sorry?
There's a tall one in your group. Where's the tall one?
Yes. Yes. Arlington, we were actually hoping to ask you about that. We have misplaced the human in our party, the person, that item, the Arlington.
Iggy, roll a perception check.
Okay. 17.
17. You recognize this voice.
Mm-hmm.
This is the voice which a couple of hours ago said to you, I can help you.
Oh, this is
If
the
you
voice
just say
that's
yes. This is the voice that's been looking at you. And as you look at this tree, you recognize some of your own features. As in, there is, it goes beyond just elven features in general. You know for a fact that you have your mother's eyes. And she has yours. And she says to you, well, Ignatius, say hello to your father for me next time you see him.
Have we met before? I'm sorry. I'm actually bad with tree faces.
Have we met before? I guess it's been a while since I've been around. Well, obviously, I don't need to say it.
I have an out of character question. What do Iggy's eyes look like?
Iggy, you can answer that if you want.
I think they're green. Like elfy human eyes.
Iggy's eyes are green. And they don't look like the sort of shimmering purple night sky eyes of Rua. And that's kind of curious to everyone in the sense that it's like, one, you can't really tell her features from this tree. You can't tell, you don't get the sense of complexion because she's a tree. But that does strike you as a little bit bizarre, that it's like, we don't look as alike as you think we look.
Okay.
And she goes, so you, Ignatius, and Prince Huck, and this wee mustachioed man. And
Hello.
Hello. You have been my secret benefactors, assisting me in my goals. My 4 mystery heroes. I have, I must admit, you have captured my curiosity. There is a small trace of confusion. Why are you helping me? And at that question, as this tree sort of like crouch and creaks down and kind of puts 2 branches underneath its sort of jutting chin, we will end the show as you've come face to face with Rua, and more questions than answers, I think, right now. But we will have those answers and more questions in 2 weeks' time when we're back on Homebrew as things begin to unfold. And until then, I want to say huge thank you to our tech team. We had, completely on our side, a load of technical difficulties this episode. An incredible job kind of keeping us up and getting us running. There was some amazing quick thinking and fast wizardry happening behind the scenes there. So huge thanks to our technomancers, Paul and Angus. There's Paul. He's the man behind the screens. And if you've enjoyed the show, if you're entertained, and if suddenly now that there's this intrigue, look at me, I'm learning as a DM, it's pulling you along, then do tell your friends. We do, as Lucy said at the beginning, we have a podcast. So there's an easy way to catch up and a way to sort of follow along. That might convince you to watch some of the video streams we have. Here's a quick internet hack. You can listen to YouTube if you just put your phone away and have it in your headphones. So if you're waiting for the podcast to catch up, you can just listen to the show. It's essentially the same. over the next couple of weeks, we'd love if you were to do all those kind of show supporting stuff, like the video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media. If you have any questions, or if we got anything wrong, we have a thing called a Don't Be That Gygax Award. It's named sarcastically. We want you to be that Gygax. Email us at rollforhomebrew@gmail.com with any sort of rule mishaps, because the very nature of doing something live and then adding booze to it, we will just make calls. That's the way we'll go. You can check out Ash on the Good Time Society. You can also check out Ash. Ash, I think you're going to join us again for another. It's not the last you'll see of Ted. This sort of unfolds in front.
According to the message you just texted me, I'm going to be here.
I was like, do you want to be here in 2 weeks, or we can, Rua's magic. We can just bamf anyone out of this situation because of some plot and bullshitty magic. We can be anywhere. So yeah, we'll pick up in this camp scene. It seems like a lovely place to do it. And we'll figure out ways, if Wes is back, to bring Wes into the picture. That's my job, not yours as an audience. So don't you worry about this. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, right here on YouTube at youtube.com/homebrewquest. Until then, look after yourselves, be sound to one another. Good night, and joy be with you all.